Method 1 4-in-hand knot. 1. Stand in front of the mirror. Your collar should be up, your shirt buttoned all the way to the top, and the tie around your neck. The wide end of the tie should be on the side of your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, the wider end should be hanging on your right side. If you're left-handed, the wider end should be hanging on your left side. 2. Look for a seam on the front of the narrow end of the tie. 3. Move the wide end over the narrow end so they cross each other on the seam. 4. Pull the wide end behind the narrow end. 5. Bring the wide end around. It should be facing off to your left. 6. Bring the wide end under the narrow end again. 7. Pull the wide end of the tie under the loop around your neck. 8. Pull the wide end down through the knot at the front of the tie. 9. Tighten the knot by sliding it up the narrow end. Make sure your tie is straight and the length is appropriate. The 4-in-hand knot is a little asymmetrical at the neck. Don't worry about this, it is normal. Many men with shorter necks prefer the 4-in-hand because the knot at top is very narrow and has a slimming effect on the rest of the neck. Method 2 half-windsor knot. 1. Choose the half-windsor as an alternative to the 4-in-hand method of tying a tie. The knot is bigger, resembles a triangle, and is considered to be more distinguished than the 4-in-hand but not as distinguished as the full Windsor. Most men tend to prefer the half-windsor because it isn't as bulky to wear. 2. Place the tie around your neck with the wide side on the right side of your body. Adjust the tie so that the length of the wide side is about 3 times the length of the narrow side. You may need to experiment with this step to achieve the right length for the sides of the ties. Some people prefer having the wide side about 12 inches 30 centimeters below the narrow side. 3. Cross the wide side of the tie over the narrow side. 4. Bring the wide side around and under the narrow side. 5. Take the wide side over the loop around the neck. Tighten a bit. 6. Bring the wide side over the narrow side, out front, moving from right to left. 7. Slide the wide side up through the loop around your neck. 8. Bring the wide side through the knot in the front. 9. Tighten a bit and shape the knot into a triangle shape. You want your knot to look a bit wider than the 4-in-hand knot. 10. Tighten the tie around your collar by pulling on the narrow side of the tie, which should now be hidden underneath the wide side of the tie. If your tie has a loop underneath the wide side of the tie, you may slide the narrow side through that loop to prevent it from picking from behind the wide side of the tie. Method 3 traditional Windsor knot. 1. Choose the traditional Windsor knot as a more formal alternative to the half-Windsor. The Duke of Windsor started the trend for this knot back in the 1930s. It has remained popular to this day because it projects a statement that suggests the wearer is elegant and has confidence. It's more dignified than the 4-in-hand knot, but a little harder to tie. This knot should be worn with a spread collar. 2. Put the tie around your neck. One end should be considerably wider than the other. Make sure the wider end is on the right, and about a foot 30 centimeters lower than the thinner side on the left. 3. Cross the wide end over the narrow end. 4. Bring your tie up through the loop. 5. Bring your tie back down. The wide end should be resting to the left of the narrow end. 6. Pull the wide end underneath the narrow end and to the right. 7. Pull the wide end through the loop, this time on the right side. The wide end should now be inside out. 8. Cross the wide end over the thin end again, from right to left. 9. Bring the wide end under the loop. 10. Fold the wide end through the loop and into the knot at the front of the tie. 11. Tighten the knot into a triangle using both hands. Slowly tighten the narrow end to bring the tie closer to the neck. For a more modern, fashionable and casual look, make the knot a good few inches or centimeters down below the collar. For all formal occasions, however, keep the knot at the traditional distance away from the collar. Method 4 Pratt knot. 1. Start with the tie inside out. The wide end of the tie should be hanging on the right, and the narrow end on the left. 2. Cross the wide end under the narrow end. 3. Bring the wide end over the loop around the neck. 4. Pull the wide end under to complete the loop around the neck. Tighten. 5. Bring the wide end over the narrow end, from left to right. 6. Pull the wide end up through the loop. 7. Bring the wide end down all the way through the knot in the front. 8. Shape the knot into a triangle shape, and pull on the narrow end to fasten the tie along the collar. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more.